Extreme Anime Radio.
Greetings, everybody. Why are there exploding emoji on the screen? What did I do?
You pressed the wrong button again, didn't you?
I think I know what happened. We had a resubscription. Bree resubscribed the moment we came on the air. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the Extreme Anime Radio Podcast. It is November the 23rd, 2022. It is going to be the final podcast of the month of November. I am JR, and over to my left side, to your right if you're watching us on Twitch, Mr. Neff Canuck, who right now is in the home of your CFL champions. Congratulations.
Well, all I can say is that game was nuts, bonkers, bizarre, with the proper spelling, and all around just blink. If you blink, you missed the insanity in the last minute or so of that game.
So, we have a lot of sports to talk about, and Bree subscribed 11 months. So thank you for the resubscription, Bree. Yes, we have the Grey Cup, we have the World Cup, and we have the cups that everybody's going to be drinking tomorrow, at least here in the United States.
Well, I was going to say, you're going to have the football overdose.
Yes.
Starting around noon and ending somewhere around 11 p.m.
And if you think about it, if you think football in a generic sense, it's really going to start tomorrow morning.
At 5 a.m., yes.
Because your team, Switzerland, plays early tomorrow.
That's right. My ancestral team, Switzerland, plays at 5 a.m. And let's just say I am not getting up at 5 a.m. There's nothing on this earth to get me up at 5 a.m. when I have to go to work, a few hours later.
Well, we welcome everybody to our podcast tonight. As per usual, if you're listening to us, you can watch us on Twitch at any time, twitch.tv/Extreme Anime Radio, and vice versa. If you're watching us right now, you want to listen to us wherever you go, be it in the U.S. or Canada or any other part of the world, you can search for the Extreme Anime Radio Podcast, your favorite podcasting platform, which of course includes Anchor, anchor.fm/anime radio. It looks like the subscription kind of threw our little graphics in the corner off kilter a little bit. How interesting.
Well, we always appreciate the subscriptions, so we'll deal with the minor technical glitches as they come.
Yes. Including Flax rating with a party of 1, which that's not supposed to pop up if it's less than a certain amount. If you're rating with just one person, then yeah.
I was going to say, rating with one person isn't necessarily a party, unless you're a party pooper.
So, real quick now, as we get started here, I'm going to show you something right over here. I hope it works. But behold, we have brand new Yumemi artwork. Yumemi cooks a turkey, and that's from Ue Okinawa. What do you think, Neff?
If I hadn't already had my turkey last month, that would be delicious.
But I love not just the art of umemi, but also the kitchen that umemi is in. It's got real nice style to it.
Although I'll ask this question. I see a microwave. I see a stove. Where exactly is the oven supposed to be in this picture where the turkey is supposed to have been done?
So, yeah, that's a good question. But could I see the microwave's open? Maybe.
Actually, someone in the chat room just mentioned that and said, "Where did she cook the turkey? The microwave?" And the answer is, you do not try to cook a turkey in a microwave. Bad things will happen.
Maybe you could reheat it in a microwave.
Oh yeah, once it's actually properly cooked, sure.
Yes.
But you don't know. You cannot cook a turkey successfully in a microwave.
Right. So, yes, we're looking forward to wonderful Thanksgiving here tomorrow. On a personal note, because of certain things going on with my family, it will not be a Thanksgiving turkey that we are cooking. We are going to go to your favorite Cuban place and mine, Rincon Criollo, to pick it up.
Ooh. Now that... Okay, so is it going to be actually turkey or something else?
Turkey.
Okay. Now, does a Cuban turkey get cooked slightly differently, or is it just the quote-unquote standard turkey?
I would say it's the standard turkey. Those folks may kind of have their own sort of stuffing that they put in there. But we're gonna pick it up around. Well, I'm not picking it up because I get to work tomorrow.
Okay, so wait a minute here. But then again, I remember America doesn't believe in giving people time off. Unless
Even if
it's an
Labor
absolute.
Day.
I would say unless it's an absolute necessity, and even then they're sort of like grumbling. Because I think what are your actual days? Christmas Day, New Year's Day,
Right.
and I think there's only one other one, but I can't remember what it is.
Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Easter.
But are those like everything shuts down or just most shut down?
Let's go through our holidays. Where kind of everything shuts down. Well, are you talking about just for my job?
Well, I'm generally talking the U.S. because up here in Canada, when we have a statutory holiday, everything shuts down.
Right.
Or 98% of it. Okay. So, for example, Christmas Day, about the only thing you'll find open is maybe a McDonald's and maybe a Tim Hortons. That's about it.
No, the McDonald's around here close.
Interesting, because
at least
like
my
I said,
local McDonald's.
Well, as I say, our local McDonald's is open on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day. Now, I can see on New Year's Day because if you're nursing a hangover, the last thing you want to do is think about cooking. But then again, McDonald's isn't really food, so maybe,
Well, what are our... most of where everything shuts down for us is sort of like the federal holidays. So Martin Luther King, President's Day, and then we have Memorial Day, Juneteenth, which is a new holiday, 4th of July, Labor Day, Columbus/Indigenous Peoples Day, although I think it's still technically Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas and New Year's. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few more, including we have Boxing Day, or as I like to call it, the day after Christmas, where you just sort of go, okay, I'm stuffed. I don't want to move. And you expect me to go buy stuff? No.
But no, we're looking forward to everything that's going on, and something I was happy to do this week, something I was planning to do for a very, very long time, and that is to finally watch the first episode of Urusei Yatsura, the remake. And that takes me to High Dive, and I got recommendations. We might have mentioned this in the past, but I got recommendations that I should try to watch High Dive on my laptop instead of through my Apple TV.
Well, I can tell you why. Because Apple TV does knock out some shows that are apparently a little too shall we say, warm.
Like Urusei Yatsura.
No, Urusei Yatsura would be completely fine. Despite everything else, that would be completely fine. I'm thinking more along the lines of Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Peter Grill and Peter Grill and something. I don't remember the rest of the title, but it's basically yeah wow. and there's a bunch of other titles where it's like yeah wow. So that stuff generally you have to watch on a laptop because Apple's like, no, we'll allow violence. But animated, body parts? No. That's too unclothed body parts? No. That's too much for us.
But no, I did see Urusei Yatsura, including the typical ending credits, which I'm used to seeing from Sentai shows and ADV shows because it's the same company. So, in a little bit of a nostalgic way, it was nice to see the English credits of everything translated from the opening and ending credits of the Japanese anime.
Yes, well, that is definitely something I will try to squeeze into watch at some point. But of course, with the World Cup going on and the weird scheduling, it's like there are always matches I want to watch, and it's sort of like, oh dear, can I squeeze something in between them?
Yeah. It's like, this is the holiday season, right? And we have to add another song to the holiday playlist. The UEFA Champions League theme or something like that.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think I've heard the theme from the World Cup once.
Uh-huh.
And it was so forgettable. It's like, I couldn't tell you what it sounded like, to be honest. It's like, no.
Yep. But I will tell you this. I'll try to make this as brief as possible without trying to spoil things. It was nice that we can see this production company. I think it's called David Production, the name of the production company, and they're the ones responsible. And they are really taking some of the old art styles and merging them into modern anime aesthetics. I will think that the anime is a little bit rushed to me because they do try to tackle two stories that I probably remember from the original anime into this first episode. So I just find that a little interesting.
Don't forget, the original series ran for, I'm trying to remember now how many episodes.
100 and
but
something, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems
so,
that anyway.
Yeah, the new series is only 40 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they are trying to, the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, and, sort of compact them as you describe, I'm not surprised. Yeah. So you just have to understand, folks, that in the modern version, you don't get the little side gags. You don't get all the little things, although some of the little things in the original, to be honest, it's like, unless you're a true Japanophile, goes right over your head.
But oh boy, Ataru, Lum, and Cherry. Oh, Cherry, he's animated the same way as he did before. So,
okay, Cherry, the Buddhist monk who basically moocher, con man. I could keep going because basically he's like, if he was a real Buddhist monk, he'd have been drummed out of, the monastery long ago.
Ding.
Dong.
Yeah. But yes, the aesthetics are there, and also the slapstick is there as well. The things that shouldn't happen in real life, of course, will happen every 3 to 4 minutes in the Urusei Yatsura, at least from episode 1.
Ask this question. Is Ataru as bad as he was in the original when it came to his eyes wandering?
Not as much. Not as much.
They actually toned him down. I am surprised because
they toned him down, but when he smiles and he's grinning, you actually see he turns to white with the grin in his eyes, the eyebrow, whatever you call it. We do see
Well,
that appear.
I am not surprised at that, but I'm more along the lines of going, a show was a different time period when they had to actually, somewhat massage one of the main characters, rather, let's call it eccentricity, to be polite.
We have emotes redeemed, so we're gonna see emotes explode on the screen for 5 minutes, Neff.
Oh dear. Well, as long as they don't explode in my house, that's fine.
Let's see what is going on in your neck of the world. So you've been so infatuated by the World Cup, you've kind of lost track of anime, manga, that sort of thing.
Well, manga I've managed to keep track of because, especially with the World Cup and the longer intermissions, you need something to do rather than listening to the talking heads. One of the series that I've been reading, Those Hanazono Twins, latest volume I grabbed, and it's like, there's going to be a conclusion to this that is either going to make me very angry or very much, oh, Japan. Because now both of the twins have basically figured out they like, the male MC, and the male MC is still in that, do they like me? He knows one of them likes him. What he hasn't quite cottoned on to is the other one is just about as infatuated with him. So this is going to either end very weirdly or very badly.
I'm sorry, but Liz is spamming my Sarah wig gif.
Yeah, that's what you call something you are going to regret for a very, very long time.
Yeah, no kidding.
All I can say is better you than I.
Going to Japan news, among the things positive, hey, Japan beat Germany today. How about that?
To which I replied, like, what? And I say this only because Germany is supposed to be this Fußballmaschinen. In other words, a football machine.
Right.
The minute you let Japan, in the space of 2 minutes, kick your doors in, take your sauerkraut and go home, yeah, you got problems. So kudos to Japan, but I'm going, Germany, you've got some splaining to do.
Yeah. So what do you think is the bigger upset, Japan over Germany or Saudi Arabia over, who was it, Argentina?
Now, I've seen online, there's been this whole conspiracy theory thing that Saudi Arabia may have, in fact, engaged in financial shenanigans to, shall we say, grease the wheels a little to get the win. And I'm going,
Really?
no, they're not that stupid. No, they're not that stupid. Come on. But it's like, I can only say that this, Argentina may have approached this as going, it's Saudi Arabia. We don't have anything to worry about. And when you do that with any opponent on any pitch at any time, you run the risk of getting your can kicked in. And Argentina got their can kicked in because now, to advance in their group, they're probably going to need to have to win the next 2 games.
Right.
Sort of like Canada, who fought valiantly against Belgium today, but ultimately could not get anything past the Belgian keeper. And the Belgians managed to get one past the Canadian keeper on a goal that was kind of like, it was clean as far as, not offside or anything like that, but it was more like, how did you get that past the goal? So now Canada in their group would have to beat Morocco and Croatia. That is not a bet I'm willing to take.
The one I'm looking forward to watching is you normally only see this in rugby, but when was the last time that Wales qualified for the World Cup? Was like how many decades?
I want to say not quite as bad as Canada's drought, but up there. Because Canada's drought was 36 years between World Cup appearances. And Wales, I think, is something like 20 or so.
Yeah.
So not as bad, but still, Wales is this tiny portion of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be facing England. And can we say fireworks? But I think the bigger fireworks are going to be when it is the USA against jolly old England. Because I can just hear the English going, "You colonials, you ungrateful colonials,
Oh, jeez.
we'll kick your cans in, we'll kick your crumpets in, and have tea on your bodies."
Yes.
So that could be a match.
Right. And yes, we've heard about, and we see it routinely in the news about how the Japanese teams or the Japanese people will help clean up the stadiums after the match, which was very, very omotenashi.
Meanwhile, the Canadians were probably just going, "I need a Tim Hortons. I need it now." Or we need a beer, but we can't have a beer.
Hamster says, all I know about the World Cup is that they aren't playing football right. Nobody's wearing armor or skates. Wouldn't that be roller derby or something?
Well, if armor would be American football, skates, I think somebody has really got the wrong idea about hockey. Especially the modern version of hockey, which you could argue it's armor, I suppose. Actually, pretty much is if you get hit with any of the equipment that they're using to protect themselves.
Yeah. Everything is just variants of hockey, they say.
Well, hockey is unique in as much as you have a very long stick that's very expensive, and you can break like a twig by literally, just taking a shot with a puck. And those, like I say, when those sticks, I say expensive, we're talking $300 and up. It's not the wooden sticks of yore where it's like, $50, what the heck.
So I know you're gonna be rooting for your team on Thursday. You're gonna have sports overload on your DVR, I guess, huh?
Well, yeah, actually, thank you for reminding me. I do have to set up the recording for the noon NFL game, because this one's going to be fun because the Bills will be in Detroit again.
Yes. And
this time they'll be the visitors. Actually, yeah, they were the home team on Sunday.
They had to be the home team, yeah.
Yeah, and the best part is now they're going to be taking the home team out back in the woodshed and bang. At least we hope so, because Detroit has managed somehow to show signs of life, which is so unusual for Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the Lions go. Actually, as far as the Red Wings go, too, but that's a completely other subject. So
we're going to have Mike White start on Sunday for the Jets instead of good old Zach Wilson, who had one of the most stellar performances of his career last week, and I'm being 250% sarcastic.
You need the sarcasm tag when you say that, JR. And all I can say is the Bills owe the Jets a beating. 2 weeks to that beating, roughly. So prepare yourself for a beating. Or the Jets should prepare themselves for a beating, because yes, they beat Buffalo, but it ain't going to happen twice.
So it's going to be a very interesting weekend, as it always is. So much so that where I work, we're actually not doing a network show on Saturday, because all the networks have taken over between, I think, college football, college basketball, because that season is already underway, and World Cup.
And as I recall, the NHL also has expanded their schedule a bit. And of course, they're different broadcasters. So basically, if you like sports coming up the next few days, you're just going to, go into overload. Now, I will say this, the NHL goes dark tomorrow because they don't want to fight with the NFL. They know they're going to lose. I mean, to be fair, nobody likes to fight with the NFL. I mean, Major League Baseball does, but that's because they were there first.
Yeah.
And the NFL just came along. So,
Yeah.
but any other sports going, NFL? No.
Thanksgiving and the big game.
Well, yes. And funny enough, speaking of the big game, next year in the CFL, they're making a tweak to the playoff schedule.
Okay.
Instead of Sunday games, there'll be Saturday games. The Grey Cup itself will still be on the Sunday,
Right.
but the semifinals and the finals will be on Saturday instead of Sunday, because they're going to try and not go head to head with the NFL, because of course, for those matches, yeah, they'll lose every time. There's no way around that.
That's kind of a smart move, I would think.
Again, if you know you're in the same room with a 10,000-pound elephant and you're a mouse, yeah, you give the elephant, some room. Just because, the elephant sneezes and that's the end of you.
Speaking of mouse, I have so many traps in my bedroom right now because we have kind of a mouse that's been on the loose in our house for the last few weeks. And a few days ago, it zipped right under my bed.
This is where you need to go rent a cat. Rent a gato.
Rent a gato, he says. Or I could just buy one of those $20 zap traps.
I suppose you could do that, but you never know. Depending on the brains of the rat or the mouse involved, they might just turn the zap trap on you.
But since this is a show before Thanksgiving, I thought I would break out my brand new snack box that I got in the mail yesterday from Sakura Co. Here it is. And maybe we could try some snacks here this evening.
Funny you should mention that. We'll try the box I got next week.
Okay, or next time we do the podcast, so probably in 2 weeks.
Okay, because we got the December box earlier this week.
Oh, nice.
Rather festive packaging too. So we'll see what they included.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
let's see what you got. I'm curious.
Well, I don't know if this one is sort of festive or not, because this is the more traditional one. So your box might be festive for, say, holidays and Christmas. If anything, this box might be festive for New Year's. So let's see if I'm right. No, I'm absolutely wrong, because this is the November box.
Ooh. Rather late in November, but you did get it in November, so.
Yep. Colors of Koyo. Koyo rings a bell, but I don't know what. Autumn. Koyo is autumn. Japanese nature becomes flushed with bursts of color. Families across the country take pilgrimage. Oh, okay. The pilgrimage is called Koyo, not the season. The pilgrimage. The part of going out to explore and whatnot. So, all right. So let's see what we have here. We have tea, of course. We have, ooh. Oh, I know what I'm trying first.
Okay, we know he's drooling, folks. We know what he's trying first.
Where are you? Here you are. The Maple Momiji Manju. Maple flavored.
Now, considering are there sufficient maple trees in Japan to actually get syrup out of the things?
Yeah. I don't know. This actually has some cream in it, too. It says cream-filled Momiji Manju, but the Japanese writing here says cheese. So I find that pretty interesting.
A cream cheese filling, perhaps?
Maybe. Manju has been enjoyed by Japanese people for more than 700 years. Momiji manju is a popular treat to eat while admiring the maple leaves in autumn. So, let's see. Ooh, look at the shape.
Looks rather familiar. As he
See,
points
the
behind
matches-
himself.
The match is behind you, right?
I was going to say, there we go.
There's a rhyme. The manju matches behind you. Ha ha ha.
Ouch. And he's chewing.
This is not too bad.
Hmm.
I can see why it says cheese. Has that sort of a cheese consistency. It's very thick.
Mm.
And I think most of the flavor's in the cream rather than the bread.
So the bread is just basically there to hold the cheese in, is what you're saying?
That's my guess.
Mm.
So, in deference to my friend north of the border, I will give this a yay on our scale.
Mm.
Once again, our scale from top to bottom, woohoo, yay, meh, blech. I always struggle to get the order correct, you know?
Well, I'm glad you found something that you're enjoying, because of course that's always important when we're doing this live on air.
All right. So now I will try. This takes a while to chew, by the way.
I was going to say, you may need some liquid to help wash that down a bit before you try something else.
I had
Uh-oh.
it here. Where did it go?
Uh-oh, his water walked, folks. You've heard of walking on water? No, in this case, his water walked away from
Oh, it's right over here, actually.
him. There we go.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. How about we do a vote now? I need to find something that appears to be salty. So, let's see. I know what the packaging looks like. I'm going to look for the packaging, and you tell me what I should try. If I can find it. Yep, here's one of them. And here is the other one. Okay. So, option 1 is this.
Mm-hmm.
And option 2 looks like this. So let me know in the chat now, 1 or 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Are you cosplaying as an optometrist by any chance?
Yes. So it looks like we have 3 votes for 1.
And 2 votes for 2, so it looks like 1 takes it.
All right. So let me tell you what this one was. This is Okonomi 5 rice snacks. Colorful variety of 5 rice snacks, arare and shrimp crackers. But no, according to the vote, I'm going to try the soy sauce senbei, the tamari soy sauce senbei. Rich, savory, with a slightly nuanced fineness of tamari soy sauce. So this is a hard cracker soy sauce flavor.
Interesting.
Let's give it a shot. Ooh, boy, look at how dark this is.
Indeed. Now, let's see. Uh-oh, he's having trouble biting through. That's always a good sign.
I almost broke my teeth. Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh.
This is hard, but delicious.
Hard but delicious.
Well, I'll be a little picky.
Okay.
I'd also give this a yay. I think the consistency is a little bit too tough. I wish it was a little bit easier to chew.
Is that one that normally they serve with teas?
They could.
Hmm.
I think
Because I'm
this
just
is
wondering
too
if I wonder if
sweet.
that's.
I mean, it is a little sweet, so I think it's also might be a little bit too big to have with tea, but it could be. Oh, there you go, Neff. Bree has the answer of the night.
Beer. The answer and solution. The answer and the solution and cause of many of life's problems. Speak to Budweiser, who now has to get rid of 75 million liters of beer that was bound for Qatar that they can't sell there. And apparently have now said the winning team gets the beer.
Really?
Now, normally I would say that would be the ultimate motivator for the Canadian team.
Right.
Except Budweiser is not beer.
Good old Bud Zero. Huh?
Well, no, in this case, we're talking, the big red Bud, the real stuff. Which, again, no. American beer, mass market, no. There are horrible jokes I could make, but no. I will be good. I promise.
You make the same joke for Sapporo made in Canada.
Ooh. Yeah, except the joke about American beer is that it's like making love in a canoe.
Why?
I won't finish the joke. You know the ending to that joke, and anybody who's old enough knows the ending to that joke, so I don't need to finish that joke. Well, what he pantomimed, folks, pretty much says it all.
So, this has been your taste test of the evening here. As we continue on, we going to December holiday season. Anything you're looking forward to for the holidays, Neff?
Well, I can only say, based on the driving around here that I've seen, I'm not looking forward to the driving. Because on the way home from work today, there was a lovely smack up. 2 cars, apparently one stopped, the other didn't, and tried to make the first car a subcompact. And it's like, when you have to have the fire trucks, the ambulance, you're just going, ooh, that doesn't look good.
Almost had a situation that made me late to work today because we had a truck ended up on the parkway here in New York City, which is a no-no.
Uh-oh. Somebody who can't read road signs.
Yes. And so you see the signs light up on the highways, the electronic billboards, misplaced truck on the Jackie Robinson Parkway. And it calls it a misplaced truck.
To which I would reply, and I'm sure most people would reply, how do you misplace a truck?
But no, I get to work for the rest of this week, and then I'll be going away with my folks for a few days of R&R. We're planning to see a nighttime Christmas village, which is pretty nice.
Oh, that's right. It's that time of year. Now, I have driven past some houses because now, of course, it's dark at like 4:30, where they are nicely done up. But I'm always mindful that I have to be, keeping my eyes on the road as opposed to, look at the pretty lights, smack. That doesn't end well.
Yeah, I've done one of those things where you drive through like a stadium that has the Christmas lights decorated and sitting in long lines for that, and it's not pretty.
Now, I'm just imagining, okay, what stadium would you drive through looking at lights and just be depressed at life?
Yeah, exactly.
That would probably be MetLife Stadium. Well, maybe City Field, depending.
Oh, or the new one they're building next to City Field. You heard that one, right?
Wait a minute. They're building another. Okay, explain this to the folks because I'm going, there's a playpen there. What do you mean then you're building another playpen next to it?
Not for baseball, though.
What, for soccer? Or football? The MLS squad wants it. Yeah. Okay.
NYCFC apparently has had it with Yankee Stadium.
I've watched a few games on TV, and yeah, I can see why. Because I would not want to play on that surface in that configuration. Like, you're not going to get fans. It's just, ugh.
So taking over what used to be the old scrap yards off to the side of the stadium. So that's where they're going to build the arena in a few years' time.
Oh, there are so many jokes I could make about the scrapyard next to the Met Stadium. It's like, ooh, that's some horrible placement.
Yeah, but no, those businesses have been there for some decades, and now they're gonna get the eminent domain boot, I guess. So.
Yeah, you always wonder when these long established businesses suddenly get told, you've been here for X number of years, you've been no problem to the community, but you got to go.
Right.
Sort of like Madison Square Gardens got told that.
Yeah.
But of course, they have lawyers,
Yes.
and that's going to be tied up for many, many years.
To my knowledge, Flax, the new stadium is going to be privately funded. NYCFC struck a deal with the city. Their partners include Sterling Equities, used to be the owners of the Mets before Steve Cohen took over.
Somehow that doesn't bode well for, I think, NYCFC. But yeah, it's just a Mets thing.
Yep. But anyway, so because of my absence next week, the next podcast is going to be 2 weeks from tonight. And hopefully we will be back at that point to our 8 p.m. Eastern start time. And I know, Neff, you mentioned that you have a box, your Tokyo Treat, because I got him the Tokyo Treat box, which is the original box that they make. And then just within the last year or so, Tokyo Treat has developed this Sakura Ko box, which has more traditional snacks, which I've been really, really enjoying over this time. I'm going to have to possibly in the future cancel my Boxu subscription. I've had Boxu. Some of you know I've had Boxu the last few years. And now I've had issues with shipment of my last 2 boxes.
As in you didn't get them, or as in they arrived in very poor condition?
As in I didn't get them. They always show up, and then the third-party provider doesn't tender it to the post office to make the delivery. And in fact, the tracking of those shipments is that they start in a facility in New Jersey, right across the river from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
They go out west to Pennsylvania, where they don't get that tendered to the post office, and then they come back this way.
Huh?
Yeah.
And I thought Canada Post was weird when it came to how parcels get moved around up here.
Yes.
Oof.
Oh, just like your snack box apparently got that flagged, right?
Yeah, it got flagged. Now, it appears that they didn't open it.
Okay.
So, hoping all they did was, look at it and go, why did we flag this? I mean, there are things that I've ordered over the years that, yeah, you could have flagged and said, but a snack box kind of is like, no, there's nothing dangerous in there.
I know that all the items I've shipped to Sheliak over the years, all of them have been flagged by Canada Post. So they must be like trigger happy with selecting these shipments.
If you're doing it as a private citizen, that doesn't surprise me. Because private shipments, they love to poke and prod.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, are you sending things over the border? You shouldn't. The other side's going, are we receiving stuff we shouldn't?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's the joys of, shipping, between countries.
Yeah.
And these are friendly countries, mind you. I mean, there are some countries where you're shipping to and it's like, you'll be lucky if the box shows up, if the scraps of the box show up. I mean, I can recall several packages from my ancestral homeland where they arrived in very poor condition with some of the contents obviously missing. Want to take a wild stab of what would be missing from a package from Switzerland?
What would that be?
The chocolate, of course. The problem is they actually took photos when they put the box together in Switzerland, and yeah, there was chocolate there. We get the box, no chocolate.
So they make a complaint?
Made a complaint, but of course Canada Post goes, we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. Meanwhile, someone probably at the Gateway facility, which is in my town, is, in the process of turning into Kris Kringle because they're eating all our chocolate.
Customs reminds me of a story that came through here a few days ago. I believe it was at Kennedy Airport, or it could have been at Newark, but a customs agent stopped somebody in a wheelchair.
Uh-oh.
Who noticed that the wheelchair really had problems trying to move around. They open up all four wheels on the wheelchair and find cocaine or methamphetamines or one of those two things inside all four of the wheels.
I've heard of the wheels go around and the wheels on the bus go round and round, but the wheels on the chair make you higher and higher. What?
So we have a lot to look forward to, and hopefully we have a nice holiday that's pretty calm. We won't be like what happened to Jay Leno, which thank goodness he's okay.
Now, I wasn't 100% sure of that story because I'm going, he was working on, was it a steam engine or was it an actual internal? Because I've heard gasoline burns. I'm like, what the?
Was it was one of his old cars, I think.
Okay.
You can see his skin looks a little charred, but he still looks like Jay Leno.
Barbecue Jay Leno. There we go. That's like my brother years ago was trying to start a barbecue, which had a proper electric starter in it,
right?
But it wasn't functioning. And he tried, I'd say about 3-4 times with the lid down. Okay, that's problem number 1. Problem number 2, he says, get me a match. And Mama Canuck is like, be careful. And I'm like, open the lid. He's like, shut up, I know what I'm doing. Throws the match into the hole. What do you think happens? And he ends up with no eyebrows for about 3 weeks.
Oh.
I simply looked at him and said, I tried to warn you. I warned you that, 3-4 whacks with that igniter and no spark. There was going to be gas buildup. He's like, shut up.
If you want something cooked right now in Japan, I think at the Family March they have something very interesting. They have, you've heard of the Hamburg steak that they do in Japan, right? So it's basically, it's a steak, and they guess. I don't know. I don't think it's named after the hamburger, but it's just a plain steak, and they put sauce in it, and you can put different toppings on it. So Family Mart has the 200 yen Hamburg cheese steak sushi. Yes, it is a small Hamburg steak with a cheese on it, and it's over sushi rice. 200 yen.
I'd like a photo of this thing I'm not sure I'd like to eat it, but I'd like a photo of this thing first. So I'm going, wait a minute. Okay, that's a rather unique sushi. But then again, I've seen it more interesting.
Yep.
Because around these parts, there are some pretty inventive types of sushi that I've seen in some of the, more esoteric shops.
Uh-huh. Well, the
My
link's over
favorite was
here in the
strawberry.
corner here. Oh, go ahead.
My favorite was strawberry sushi.
Mmm.
I'm going, okay, sweet, savory, maybe, but
Yeah.
there we go. The link there. Okay, I just want to take a quick look at this because
Yeah, of
I am
course.
very. I'm sorry. I look at that and I go, okay, that's cute. I think. I'm not sure how much I'd want to eat it, but it certainly looks unique.
You're in Japan for lunch and you're poor. Have a cheeseburger sushi.
A tiny cheeseburger sushi. I mean, for 200 yen, it's probably no bigger than, about like this.
Yeah. If you scroll down, I think you can see somebody actually eating it, so you can kind of gauge the size up.
Okay, now I'm going to scroll down and see this because I do want to see the size of this thing. Let's see. Oh, there we are. Okay. Okay, it looks reasonably large, I suppose.
Yep.
It's still not something, because I'd be afraid that, the rice would just sort of crumble under, the meat and the cheese and the, there's a reason they use bread in most places of the world when you're talking about, hamburger steak.
So on that hungry note, we're going to close out the podcast for the month of November. It's been a pleasure as always, Neff. And
Indeed.
I will present this to you now because we've been meaning to present this. Hey, look, we have brand new artwork.
Oh, very nice.
And so that's Zura with the artwork of Yumemi playing a video game quite intently while apparently drinking some pep and it has the cell phone right at her side as well. So
I was going to say she looks rather intense, sort of like when I play Mario Kart, except I don't win quite that often when I play Mario Kart.
Well, that's something we have to talk about real quick as we end, but let's do the closing commentary real quick.
If you have any questions, concerns, compliments, or complaints about this podcast or any of our Twitch streams, drop us a line at extremeanimeradio@gmail.com or hit us up on social media. Go to linktree.com/anime radio, and there you'll find links to our Facebook account, our Twitter account, our Instagram account, our Discord server, and our Twitch server, and our Twitch server, blah, blah, and our YouTube channel. And don't forget, archive versions of this podcast are available at anchor.fm/anime radio.
So, yes, Wave 3 is coming up for Mario Kart 8. I believe the second week of December.
December 7th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if that's the correct date, that's a rather interesting choice of date.
Because?
December 7th.
Oh,
Is that not the attack on
Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, that's why I said, when I saw that date, and I'm going, is Nintendo trolling itself?
We have the Rock Cup, so we're going to have the Mario Kart Tour London Loop, Game Boy Advance Boo Lake, 3DS Rock Mountain, and Maple Treeway for Mario Kart Wii. And then Moon Cup will be Mario Kart Tour Berlin Byways. So that's a pretty interesting looking course. Nintendo DS Peach Gardens, 3DS Rainbow Road, which means, yes, now we can officially do a 4-race series just playing 4 different versions of Rainbow Road, which is going to be very interesting.
And actually, with another group I play with regularly, they're like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do that. And I'm like going, oh, lovely. At least 3. There's of the 3 courses that exist, There's only one I'm reasonably good at. The other two is just like, yeah, 11th place, 10th place. Unless, of course, all the items go nuts and they're busy blowing each other up, and I can just, sneak in between, which has happened before.
And then the final course will be for the Christmas holiday, Merry Mountain, also from Mario Kart Tour.
That's the first time, I think. Is that the first holiday-themed course on... I think that's the first holiday-themed course on Mario Kart.
I think so, yeah.
Should be interesting. I mean, timely, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the only other winter course they have is that crazy one with the penguins, and that's just... Ooh, no.
Always stay low. That's how I kind of beat the course.
Well, I tend to get, beaten around, and it's like, end up in the water occasionally, end up, hitting a penguin. Sorry, Pen. And it's like, ooh, yikes.
Well, that's something we're definitely going to have to schedule a stream for when it comes out. So we hope you'll stick around for all that news. But that's all about the time we have for tonight's XAR podcast. We thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving. If you celebrate it here in the United States with the people let's keep in mind those who may be less fortunate on a holiday such as tomorrow. And our next stream, we might do something towards the end of next week after I come from my little holiday, because after I come back from my little holiday, I'm going to have to do physical therapy again. By the way, news from my orthopedic surgeon. I've told some people that the orthopedic surgeon has told me to carry the cane, and some people have misinterpreted that. Carry the cane until you no longer need it, so try to get off the cane. So that is the plan for now.
Well, I'll say this. The way you originally described it, you said carry the cane. In my case, carry the cane was a semi-permanent, mostly permanent thing.
Yeah.
So I was afraid that when you were told carry the cane, oh dear.
No.
Okay, well that's good. And hopefully, in a couple of months you can take the cane, put it in the corner, and never see it again.
Right. And so next follow-up is going to be a year after the surgery. So because of the work schedule, that will put the follow-up in September of next year. So I won't have to worry about checking that out again until then. So.
Well, that's good. That's good news.
So very optimistic. Maybe I can get out further and see what's out there in the world. They're going to open the new train link over here in the city, the Long Island Railroad. They're going to open a new line to Grand Central Terminal. So I think that's something I might try to check out sometime next month.
Is that one that goes to the new arena, UBS Arena?
No. Well, no, they have a new station open for UBS Arena already. That's fully open. Okay. But this is a new line from the Long Island Railroad that connects to the east side of Manhattan. So it's going to have a direct link from Long Island directly to Grand Central. So hopefully it's going to alleviate a lot of congestion on the Long Island Railroad and also on the subways from people trying to go from Long Island, going to the west side of Manhattan and Penn Station, and then trying to take the subway or a taxi or whatever, getting back over to the east side. Because now you're going to have the new Grand Central Station for the Long Island Railroad, I believe 4 stories underground where the current Grand Central Station is now. So I'm sure they'll be nice to check out, and maybe then I can go up to Grand Central and take a look at the holiday train exhibit and everything.
Actually, that's right. They finally finished officially the Union Station in Toronto, the revitalization project.
After so many years, wow.
After so many years, so many delays, and of course COVID. So it's nice. I mean, I've seen the photos. I haven't actually been in the fully completed station myself. At some point, I probably will end up there for one reason or another. Right. So I will take a quick look around. I mean, the parts that were done when I was there the last time looked rather nice and looked to be in the state that it's like, okay, this looks very nice. Now let's see it in 5-10 years of wear and tear.
But this is going to be a very big change for people who commute into the city on a daily basis on a regular work day. And I'll be interested to try it out, and that might be something I do sometime during the month of December. So looking forward to that. And looking forward to hopefully doing more streams once we get the free time. As I mentioned, physical therapy for me once I come back from my trip next week. That's another thing. Eventually, hopefully in the coming weeks, I'll try to get off physical therapy. So that'll be the end of that.
Well, you'll probably have maintenance stuff like I do.
Yeah.
Just remember, maintenance stuff is important because you don't want to end up, with them saying, yeah, that doesn't look right anymore.
They said try to use a treadmill or an elliptical. Well, I know the hotels will have that, so I'll just be chugging along on that for a little while, I think.
Oh, yes, the treadmill. Unfortunately, my gait is so uneven that if I try to ride a treadmill, and I'll date myself with this reference, if you've ever seen the Jetsons and the end credits,
oh, yes,
you'll know exactly what would happen if I tried.
Yes, we'll ask Astro and get back to you.
Jane, stop this crazy thing. Jane, help.
Yeah. So that we will, Bree, that we will. So thank you for joining us here for the XAR Podcast. We hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we will see you the next time we stream. The next time we stream will probably be towards the end of next week. The next podcast will be 2 weeks from tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. So for Neff, I'm JR. Thank you for joining us here. And remember,
keep on looking out for the Extreme Mario Podcast. And don't forget, check out our archive podcasts at anchor.fm/anime radio. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. And one last thought that Liz posted.
Uh-oh.
If the three of us connect canes, it creates Voltron.
And that means you form the head.
See you, everybody. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Bye.